welcome to 3-Star Stories, the only web series that reveals the stories behind some of the best restaurants in the world, the ones that have 3 Michelin stars. I'm Mel Haven, and I'm here with the only person in the world who can say, I have eaten at every 3 Michelin star restaurant on the planet. It's Andy Haler. So, if you've seen our first episode, you probably now know how Heston Blumenthal got his 3rd star, and also just how hard it is to get a table at a 3-star Michelin restaurant. If you didn't see it, then have no fear, but you're in for a complete treat today because Andy Haler is going to introduce to us his fantasy Michelin star menu. Just think about it as like the Frankenstein of all menus, but in like a really good way. Andy, are you prepared?
I am, and hello again, Mel. Yeah, so to start, I actually like simple food. I think some of the really great chefs are ones who manage to extract great flavour from simple dishes. So I'm going to begin with a risotto, and nothing fancy, just a risotto. But it's a risotto that's very special. It's saffron risotto, just a little bit of very fine licorice powder, cooked by Massimiliano Aliamo, and he is the chef at Le Calandre in Italy, northern Italy. It's quite near Venice, and he was the youngest ever 3 Michelin star chef. So he got 3 stars at the tender age of 28, which is 4 years younger than anybody else has ever managed it.
Wow, but that does sound fancy to me. That sounds incredible.
Yeah, well, it's just a perfect risotto. It has tremendous flavour. Chicken stock used with it. It's just got enormous depth of flavour. Texture is perfect, and the saffron gives it a little bit of colour and makes it more interesting as well. So it's probably the best risotto anyone's ever made.
Okay, second course is the fish course. Tell me about your best fish dish.
So for the fish course, I'm going to choose a langoustine dish. And this was a langoustine with little sesame tuiles and a very mild curry sauce, as cooked by Bernard Pacau at L'Amboisie in Paris. This has been a 3-star Michelin restaurant for decades, and what you can find here is these absolutely pristine langoustines from Brittany with a extremely delicate sesame tuiles that just literally break in melt in your mouth as you put them on your tongue. And then the flavour of the langoustine is just enhanced by this very, very mild use of Indian spice. So it's absolutely gorgeous dish.
That sounds delicious. On to the mains. What is the best of the best?
Okay. Well, my favourite is going to be chicken Rothschild, and this is actually as cooked by Michel Guérard. Michel Guérard is the head chef at a restaurant called Pré des Eugénies in the southwest of France, in Bordeaux, and he's had 3 stars for over 40 years. He's now 83 years old, and he's still in the kitchen every day.
Wow.
Now this dish has got local chicken from the Londe area, which has absolutely stunning flavour. To me, much better flavour than the famous breast chicken. So this chicken is gorgeous on its own, but in this case, it's stuffed with morel mushrooms and a little bit of foie gras, and it's laced with black truffle. And so it's really a kind of luxurious, rich main course, and it is just gorgeous.
It's everything it promises. It really sounds like a luxury. And now on to my favourite course, the dessert.
So for the dessert, I'm going to pick a chocolate lattice as prepared at Anne-Sophie Pique's restaurant in Valence. Again, a very famous restaurant. It had 3 stars in 1934 and regained them some years ago under Anne-Sophie. This is a particularly complicated technical dish. Looks absolutely beautiful. Looks like a honeycomb.
Wow.
It's got sort of chocolate. It's got ganache. It's a very rich dish, but it looks beautiful. It's got a chocolate that was made especially for her by Valrhona. Extraordinarily rich with just a hint of bitterness, and it's a very decadent way to finish the fantasy meal.
So there we have it. There's Andy Haler, Michelin expert, fantasy Michelin menu. It is an incredible list of the best foods cooked by the best chefs, which leads me nicely on to my next challenge for you, Andy. If I was to ask you to give me a list of the best Michelin chefs of all time, the top 5, Would you be able to do it?
I can certainly give it a go, Mel.
Well, let's hear it in our next episode, which you can watch now.